Assalamu alaikum viewers. You are welcome to this week's edition of your popular program, Guest Podium, reaching you from SALAAM African Television here in London. Our guest today is Alhaja Bilkis Amokwe Savage. Alhaja is a magistrate also with the Home Office. On my left, I have Alhaja Sanni. She's a manager post-foundation program of the King's College here in London. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Our program today, what we are going to look into, it has to do with our youth, and we will focus on this particular area. What does the future hold for the youths in diaspora? For instance, they live in a multicultural society whereby there's a conflict of religious, language, and so on and so forth. Most of these youth, despite that many of them came from ethnic minority background, at their schools, at their various schools, and also the leisure centers where they interact with their other peers, where others find it very comfortable to focus and know precisely where they are coming from. Some of these ethnic minority children are facing with some certain culture belief that is actually threatening their backgrounds. For instance, what are you going to preach to a youth whom they made him or her to believe about gender equality? In Islam, the issue of sex education and so on and so forth. These are one of the challenges. Also the language. There are many Africans who could not even speak their mother tongue except English. It affected Nigerians, Ghanaians, Cameroonian, Ivorian, and so on and so forth. So Alhaja Savage, being somebody who had worked with this youth, I remember recently I met you in a particular program where you were engaged with these children. What is these challenges? I want to know your take. Most of this problem, is it from their parents or the youth themselves? Because you go to the Nigerian and you have a car which is good morning. Some of them hardly will struggle to pronounce some words.
Alhamdulillah, I think the issue is multi-layered, and one of the things I've thought about in reflection is you have a new paradigm shift. What do I mean by that? We live in a global context, and I think you started by the issue of identity. Some children are born here, some came from Nigeria. They live in the UK, they go to school in the UK. And we parents, to some extent, have not invested the time to make them understand our background, our cultural identity that is embedded in us when we came here. And for that, the children have a conflicting identity. Are we UK? Are we Yoruba? Are we Nigerian? What are we? Because when they go to school, they live in a global village. They live with their friends who are from, UK, from Ghana, and they see a different environment. When they come home, we don't speak a language to them, we don't spend time with them, and they go to their room, they're exposed to the global village, TV, internet. So, coming down to the challenges, it is multi-layered, it's a new paradigm shift. I always use that because we are living in a different context from where we were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, where children have been brought up to respect, to have a moral etiquette. And when we said moral etiquette within the Nigerian culture, I always say that there is nothing like itiju. Itiju now, we don't have shame in our culture anymore. And that's part of it. If a child is stealing, you don't cover it up, you deal with it. The child go to prison now, it's an honor of badge for some parents. They don't even have the shame. And that's part of the challenge we face. a breakdown of moral society within the family, within our culture, within our society, within the diaspora society. So it's multi-layered, it's a new paradigm shift. And I use the word new paradigm shift because our moral etiquette is very thin at the moment. It is thin in the sense that the Yorubas were very proud. Our children are golden, and family means extended family. Your brother is your father, your brother's children is your children. We have that closeness. But now it's like me and my husband, me and my children, and the boundaries have been crossed over. And for me, we have to reflect and go back to the beginning, to the basis of probably not how we were brought up in a different way because it is a west side. But I think we need to reflect back on that because that morality, that culture, that identity has value that we can hold on to. And that time element that we need to spend with our kids to give them that education because we, the mothers, have to be the first teacher. We have to invest in our children. We have to make them understand that this is the family, this is how we behave, this is the moral etiquette, and invest a lot of time. And I think Anaja would have something to say on that as well.
Raja Sanni, I want you to look at this aspect, this area, because most of these problems start from home. From your own point of view, I know you are a mother, and you must have visited some homes. Have you seen any deficiency whereby some women, some of these African women not speaking their own language to their children? Or do you think these children choose their own way of doing things? Or perhaps any solution?
It's not by chance that Allah emphasized the upbringing of children on women, on parents, but women. So most of the challenges is already known. But the women of the house, the mothers of the house, have to be ready to take the responsibility. Because I don't think we women ourselves will even know the bigger problem to be able to make an informed choice. It's only when you know the problem at hand, what is at stake, you will know. Then coming to language, I don't see the reason why it's difficult for us to speak our indigenous language to our children. After all, we have our Asian sisters. And research have shown that children can learn up to 4 languages at the same time. So it's a matter of getting our priorities right. What normally makes me to cringe sometimes is when you see an average Yoruba mother that will tell you, oh, my child cannot speak Yoruba, and she's so proud of it. We know that as children, they can be sometimes deviant, but at least when we put our foot down, that, okay, this is what I want, with love and prayers, it can go down with them. But when the mother herself is not well grounded, what do you think? So the Yoruba said, "Ibipele bela ti mu ole je." Before, because at the end of the day, even the society will blame mother for everything, but mothers do need to look inward and see what we can really do and make sure that by bringing these children to the world, we are ready to face the responsibility. It's not just enough to bring children to the world.
Thank you very much, Raja Sanni. Raja Savage, I want you to look into this aspect as well. The issue of when they are within their friends.
Yeah.
Many parents, I think some, let me just some, I don't think they know their friends, the friend of their children. And most of this issue of bad group, peer pressures are there. What are the issues what are the steps that parents could take to avoid their children being fall into wrong hands?
Thank you for that. Like, there are a number of steps that parents have to take to make sure that, our children do not fall into the wrong hands. One of the main issues is the issue of whether you allow your child to go and sleep over. I think it's a common thing that we talk about it, but do we understand it? Do we let, if your child is going to sleep over, which house is it going? Is it somebody that you're comfortable with? Is it a house that you'll be proud to say, actually now, this is my children's friend in terms of religion, in terms of their food, in terms of their behavior, in terms of association. You have to really understand who are your children's friend. Do you know the family? Do you have your number? Because an ordinary white family, when they have friends, their children, friends, they will know the family, they will know the mother, they will know the father. And I think it's something we need to cultivate as well. Alhamdulillah, I'm not perfect, but the few of my children's friends, I know the parents. I go to their house within our locality. The ones I do not take to, my children will not go to their house. I have that rule. I'm not keen on sleepover for various reasons, honestly, because there's a lot of safeguarding that we children, we parents, we need to be mindful of. Sleepover is a very, very big issue. That's one element of what we parents need to be in mind. And I think it's really knowing your children's friends, because there's so much going on about the celebratory culture, I call it. The issue of people want to make money, they want to be famous. And it's about morals again. So when your children meet with the wrong gang, that their lifestyle is totally different from yours, that all this is about having a big house, money. We don't know how they source that money. Are they working for it? You know, where is that money going? Is it to do with drugs? Is it to do with fraud? So you really have to understand what kind of friends your children are moving with. Their lifestyle, is it compatible with you? So it's not just, oh, they've got your friends, they go to the same school, I see them at the school gate. You really have to go beyond to understand them, have their contact, know their family, befriend them, and assess them, you know, in the little you can. Yes, you cannot be an expert, but with the will of Allah, with prayers, once you put that into practice, actually, I really want to know this one, because I do not want them to lead my children astray. Because at the end of the day, you have to make sure you bring up your child in a good moral etiquette. And that is fundamental. So I will caution against this over. Don't know your friends, your children friends. I will really want you to, as a parent, I will advocate mothers to really be mindful of that and not just do it for an easy option, because some parents might think, oh, he or she's going to sleep over, I don't have it for the weekend. It's not an easy option, because once a child starts sleeping over, do we know what they're doing in their house? Do we know who comes to their house? Do we know what they eat? Is it compatible to us? You know, and one of the other things is, as a very formative years of their life, they're easily molded. And that influence is key. Their friends is key. They can be influenced with their friends. So I will caution, especially mothers and fathers as well, to understand that their children friends is something that we have to spend time to know and take as a priority as well. For me, that is very, very important.
Thank you very much. Sanni, are you comfortable for your children to experience the sleepover? Have you experienced it? Or when you are now?
Talking about friends, the only Prophet
Sallallahu
said, a worthy friend is the person that whose sight reminds you of Allah, whose conversation increase your knowledge, and whose deed remind you of the hereafter. So if you want to consider, I don't consider sleepover at all, because it has been abused and safeguarding issue once again, as Saladia has said. So I don't even allow my children to do sleepover, because so if any friend at all, apart from sleepover, if any friend at all our children want to be, they should be friendly with everyone, because it's about, just like the slogan of Ahmadiyya Jamaat, is love for all, hatred for none. So they can be friendly, but they don't have to be friends of everyone. But if they meet this criteria that the Prophet, our Prophet said, well, they can be close to them. But sleepover is very deep. Then today, how do people choose friends? Because of influence of the society. People don't longer choose friends because of kindness, being good, being intelligent. It's about, oh, he's a celebrity, he follows one football club or something. So the criteria for choosing friends has long gone. So for me, sleepover is enough.
Thank you very much, Lada. We will look at this aspect. I want us to widen the scope of this discussion, going to a space whereby you see this issue, It's where these and most of their children they speak their own language. Very hardly you see some of Nigerian, youths, they'll tell you they can't speak. Even some of them, except those who had actually traveled to Nigeria, who had lived in Nigeria a little bit, be able to speak it conveniently. Now, what can we do about our own culture? Because it's like our culture is not reflecting in some of our youths. So that is something I want you to start.
It is a big, big part of my challenge, a personal challenge for me. My children, I'm going to use myself as an example because I like to practice what I preach, because at the end of the day, the children are the future for us. My children understands Yoruba. The little one speaks Yoruba, not fluently. The middle one, yes, understands. My older one, I'm always saying, is still different. He understands, but he pretends he doesn't understand. And it's a challenge for me.
He can't speak it.
He doesn't want to speak it. He does not want to speak it. And over the years, he has changed. And that's been a challenge for me. Why am I saying this? Is the fact that I wasn't born in this country. I came when I was 17. And everybody that knows me, I talk about it because I value my culture. And where I need to speak it, I will speak Yoruba. I really value my culture. I belong to your state, descendant union, and within the community, I'll speak it where I need to speak it. But for some reason, I struggle with, and that's why it becomes personal to me. I struggle with why our children, not all our children, some of them resent the fact that we don't speak it to them is an issue. Why some of our children resent speaking the language, and I think part of it is our fault. Initially, they think because we're living in the UK, well, we didn't actually introduce it to them at a very early age, and by the time we started introducing it, they've lost. It's too late. So I'm struggling with that. But what I'm advocating now is we need to go back to the basics. We need to start teaching them at a very early age. We need to let them understand the value of our culture. We need to let them appreciate it, and there's nothing to be frightened about. Like if you speak a different language, you're inferior. And I think that's part of it. And they struggle with it because they think, I don't want people to associate with me because, it's not nice. So I embrace Yoruba heartily, and I want to showcase it. So I think for us as a parent, we need to start teaching them at a very young age. We shouldn't be afraid to teach them. We shouldn't be afraid to showcase it, whether at the mosque, whether at our cultural center. I think that's part of what is missing. So when we go to the mosque, like the Asian and all that, they showcase their culture. The language is part of culture identity. And I think there's a lot of work that we need to do. Yoruba Day will be very good, for instance. Having a Yoruba Day will be a very good thing to do, because we need them to understand what it is that makes you a Yoruba person. The speaking is a big issue. Now we have Yoruba schools, lessons on Saturday, that teaches, and I'm slowly, I will speak it, Daddy and I speak it, more at home, and and I think most parents just need to appreciate that, because there's just no other way. Otherwise, Yoruba language will die. It will die. And Yoruba is recognized, because I go into hospital and you see they will put in parts of the to say if you need Yoruba thing. So it's recognized. It's absolutely recognized that Yoruba is a valid language that we should be proud of. But we, the Yorubas, we need to promote it more. And it starts from the home. It starts from when they're young. It starts from showcasing it. It starts from not being afraid to speak it. And I think, for me, and one thing I will say is speaking in true, authentic Yoruba. Nothing bad, mode. Because, again, that's part of the issue.
Yoruba for you.
Yeah. Because, the Yoruba language, the authentic Yoruba, is different from the Yoruba of the 80s or 90s where more there. There was a YouTube I saw from an American woman in Lagos saying that we cannot even speak Yoruba properly. It was a recent YouTube. Can you imagine that? And that is part of the issue, because we need to speak the proper Yoruba. And now I'm so fascinated when I see Yoruba proverbs. I translate it and I use it more because that's part of understanding our culture better.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much, Alada. We are going on commercial break. When we come back, we will take it from precisely where we are stopping. So, on behalf of the sponsor of this program, Zuburain Art and Umrah Group, we'll be right back after this commercial. Welcome back. Before we go on commercial break, we will resume precisely where we stopped. On behalf of, we sincerely appreciate our sponsors, Zunurain Hajj and Umrah Group, for their kind assistance on our program. So, another Sanni, sorry. Before we go on commercial break, this is the next question I intended to ask you. I had attended a series of events here in London and some part of the United Kingdom whereby you see, and most of Africans, whereby they showcase, display our full, culture by mode of dressing, even the so-called Ashwebi in Nigeria is a common phenomenon here in London whereby you see people gele, fila and so on. But the children were not carried along. We don't know the reason why these children are left behind. You see some children, some young ones with jeans, with even the female ones, the girls with skirt, mini skirt, and where you see the women dressed in good lace material with headgear and shoes and badge to match. These children were not even introduced this stuff. What is the reason behind this?
Well, I think it's the same thing that affects the language. It's equally affecting the dressing. So just as Elijah said concerning language, we have to beautify everything that is cultural, that is not against Islam. Because sometimes culture intervenes with religion, but Islam is not against us imbibing our culture that is not against Islam. As per the dressing, it's unfortunate. I pray that Allah, we don't lose it, because if you go to Selfridges now, an Ankara dressing is now 1,150. Just a simple Ankara dress, 5 years.
Yes.
And it's there, and the whites are buying it. Whereas we, the owner of the dress, are not even looking at it. They are using it to make shoes, to make handbags, to make. So what I would just implore the mothers, everything go back to the mother, because it's not by chance, as I've said earlier, that Allah has placed a lot of responsibility on our shoulders. So you learn to do something by doing it. Even in the language, you learn to speak by speaking. We should encourage, we should speak with our husbands at home, we should speak in our occasion, we should encourage the children, and we should start early. The same thing with the dressing. The same thing with the dressing, our children should dress, and we should make it in a way that now they can put stone, they can put a lot of things to beautify it. So it's a matter of introducing anything that is cultural and not against Islam. I'm emphasizing it because there are some of cultural things to that, and because we are talking to Muslim audience, or we are talking about in Islamic context, our dressing is good, it's fine, and it can be promoted, but the mothers have to do it first, and the children should be consulted when it comes to wedding. They should take maybe bright colors that they like, they can use it to sew all manner of beautiful styles, which include even the native dress. Now they sew, apart from the up and down that we call Iran Buba, there is Oleku. It's still Iran Buba, but it's fashionable for the girls, for the youth.
So now, is it some of these, what I'm trying to say now, that some of the color they choose, or perhaps the children are they don't have interest on the color, or they don't have interest on the designs?
No, I think
challenges.
I think a lot of the mothers assume that the children will not like it. So it's just based on assumption.
They've not been carried along.
Yeah, so mothers should try and carry them along. They like it, they will like it. They are beautiful clothes. So it's a matter of carrying them along.
Thank you, Raja Sabid. I want you to of course look at this here. That's a common belief now, and I think it's a popular. It's something that one have been hearing over. It's of recent that this issue is coming up that some African languages, some of them will die natural death. That this language is not being spoken, and there's no, I mean, there's a tendency with what we are seeing on the ground. Do you believe that these languages, especially like Yoruba language, do you believe that some few years it's going to die the way this youth are showing it?
I think there's a real concern if we're not careful. If you think about the Lagos State just introduced Yoruba national anthem a couple of weeks back, and I think it was evidence that there was concern within the Lagosians that Yoruba was not being spoken at schools, it was not being spoken at homes, and it was English, English, English. And to the point that even going to work, people were not wearing the native, apart from maybe on Fridays, if I'm right. And in terms of speaking the language, there's evidence to say people in Lagos, their children were not speaking Yoruba. I have family friends, extended family friends, that their children speak broken English. And it amazed me that where and how did we get to that point? And to be fair, in the UK, they embrace our culture. Like I said, you go to hospital, you go to library, you go to, they know you have a language, it's our heritage, so they embrace it. Why is it that we are not promoting and embracing it? There is concern in the sense that it has been forgotten about 20 years and it's not been taken now to suddenly realize what is happening. That the younger generation are not speaking the language. And if the language is not spoken about, it will naturally die. Because it goes to the next generation, it will gradually die out. And that's where we are. If you think about if you say if parents that came in the 60s, so their children, they've got children that have children in the 80s. So you're talking about the third generation. So unless the third generation of Nigerians born in this country embrace and speak the language, where do we go? Because that's what we're faced with. In Nigeria, you have people that are born and live in Nigeria. They're not speaking the language. And so if they're not speaking the language in Nigeria, and people born here, third generation, gradually, the language is going to go. So it's a real concern. And like I said, I'm not active as I should be within Oyo Senior Union. I've actually got a meeting this month. I'm not going because of Ramadan. But I know I'm a Yoruba. I speak the language. I promote it. I encourage my children to speak it, and they do understand and speak to the point. But we have to do more to make sure that existence do not die. Because if we don't speak it, what's left with Yoruba? It's a real concern. It's a real big concern.
I like that, Sanni, as a mother, and also as you said now, that you're a grandmother. Do you feel this impact? Are you be concerned?
Oh, every patriotic person should be concerned, because the love of your country of your origin, of country of your residence is part of your faith. So we just have to take it very seriously, because now there is BBC Yoruba.
Yes.
So if BBC is showcasing Yoruba, so what's wrong with the owners of the language?
Yes.
And the Lagos State that Elijah was talking about, yes, the government wanted to recruit teachers to speak, but they had a problem. There was no Yoruba teachers. No Yoruba teachers. There were no Yoruba teachers. No graduate to teach Yoruba.
Yes.
Because if you want to go to university and they said, oh, Yoruba is the course available because of the way the language is being, people would rather prefer to go for English course rather than Yoruba.
It's very easy to get admission in that department.
Yes, and it's so easy if you apply for admission in Nigerian university and you want to read Yoruba, you get admission. But so it's not possible to just wake up one day and say you want to teach Yoruba. We are the teachers.
Yes.
So I will appeal to all the mothers out there, our sisters, that we should take it very seriously. We should not be afraid to speak Yoruba to our children. It's our language. We should be proud of it. I've seen so many YouTube pages that you see other people that are speaking Yoruba, even a lot of proverbs they are saying.
Yeah.
So what is wrong with us? It's even to the benefit of the children if they are bilingual.
Yes.
If they can speak more than one language, it's better for them. So mothers out there, please let us do the best we can to promote the Yoruba language.
Thank you. Alaja Sabi, let me come to you. Also, you have had the opportunity of meeting this youth in series of programs they've been organizing. Apart from organizing Islamic programs, your association, have you ever organized or perhaps thinking of organizing anything that involve cultural programs, especially Yoruba, to enable the awareness to grow within these youths?
I haven't, because it's part of, there's this element of, we don't value it. So when you want to do something that associates with our cultural heritage, people don't want to come to that event. Unless if you're doing a naming ceremony or wedding, then you call people there. You see people there. But let's do an event about cultural heritage. It's something I would love to do. So an event about cultural heritage, and you actually, showcase our language, our tradition, and you use it as an entertainment for the kids. It is something that can be done, but and it's something that I've thought about. But unfortunately, it is not something that is easily done or delivered, because you will not see parents there, you will not see the youth there, because it's never been done, and people do not value it or do not see the point of it. But I'm actually looking for an avenue where we can have a cultural day, Yoruba Day, whatever we call it, to entertain ourselves, to educate ourselves. So, like, for instance, what I remember most, I always remember weekend in Lagos where the Yoruba theatre, authentic Yoruba theatre. I enjoy that. And you have all this Yoruba play that gives you stories. Efushitanimura is something that comes to my mind. The story of Efushitanimura in Ibadan those it's an original story in itself. So the plays, if you can have somebody doing the play as a theatre play, just to teach our children about the story, that in itself is powerful. It is powerful, and that is something that I, as young as I am, knew about the story. There's nothing stopping us. You have all this theatre in London where they just have a story, they put it to theatre, and they're so expensive to go to theatre in this country. But we do not value it, and that's one of them. But I'd like to do it. It's come to my mind that maybe if it's an avenue to get to the youth again, I think we should do it. But it's how we go about it, how we do it, and how we get the engagement within our community to do it. And I think for viewers, it is something that is a point of discussion. What we're talking about is a point of discussion that we should talk among ourselves. I always say to people, and I think it goes from there, and I know you do a lot of engagement around that. Yes, we can go to SALAAM too, but going to SALAAM is a source of education as well. Allah says, our Prophet said, knowledge, education is a life learning thing, continuously learning, that we have to learn. So coming to the mosque, coming to SALAAM too, it is about learning, learning about our culture, that, as you said, it's not against Islam, should be part of it. So if we organize an event, even to just let our neighbors know who we are, what we do, it goes a long way.
Well, thank you very much, Alaja. I wish we could continue with this highly interactive program, and the information is highly educative and what you actually, giving to our viewers. This is where we are going to draw the curtain of this program this week. On behalf of our sponsor, that is Rain Ajanuma Service Group, we sincerely appreciate everyone, especially you, our viewers. And I would like to thank Alaja Bilkis Savage and Alaja Fasad Sanni. I strongly believe that we still need you in future because we benefited from your immense knowledge. Assalamu alaikum.